Good afternoon. This is Robert Edmonds with VirginiaPreps.com. I'm here with Coach Brandon Isaiah with Albemarle High School. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Rob?
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, I appreciate you catching up before the season starts and chatting with us a little bit. You know, looking at this year's team, I know you guys got a lot of youth and few returners as well coming back from last year. Talk about kind of what the outlook is for you guys, if you don't mind, coming off of last year's season.
I think the major thing, as you can see, I talked about the major question marks for me is bigger than just wins and losses. When you have, we lost a really talented group of seniors that left last year. How in my program had a major impact. So a lot of times when you have young men like that in your program for so long, you kind of, even as coaches, get used to a routine of having those players around. Something as simple as them being at workouts all the time and being at 7-on-7 events, being in the weight room. And so once those players graduate, it kind of opens up a lot of questions about what if, obviously who's going to be the talented kids who are going to step up and be playmakers for your program. But for us, it's really about the leadership and culture, kind of getting back to that foundation. And these young players, as talented as they are the ones now that we will be ultimately seeking to not only be good players for us, but to kind of relay that foundation and culture back down to kind of got us to be in the program that we've been over the past 10 years. And so it's scary in some ways, but it's also exciting for us as coaches just because, we get to see another group of young men come in and grow. Maybe some players you don't know about or they can play, but can they take those steps? Can they be great players and be great leaders on and off the field? So that's pretty much what our major question mark is for this year. We feel good about the talent that we have. But the major thing for us is, who's going to help us continue to lay that foundation and keep that culture going and actually make it stronger than what it has been, specifically over the past couple of years.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's a big deal. And I know that, looking at the timeline of your time there at Albemarle, you guys have progressively, improved. And I think that foundation's a key. Are there any players that you're looking to kind of step up and take the reins in some of that leadership for you guys?
Well, I mean, obviously, you wanted to start with your older group, your seniors. So we have, we have a handful of those guys like Jordan Green and Jaden Green, twin brothers. Jacob Likens is another one. Is a really good player. People may not, hear about him a lot. He's not a fancy player, but he's really one of those blue collar tough players for us on defense. So we have a group of those kids in that class, and then our rising junior class. We had a few players who actually went off to check on some new opportunities. But our sophomore class is really strong. And so we're really excited about that. And then Isaiah Harris is a rising junior also. I think he's probably going to be one of the top players in the area. He's quietly been as good as anybody the past several years, but he's been playing behind, with some really talented older guys. So I think now, it'll be an experience for him stepping out of the shadows and not just being the talent that he is, but also being the leader. And so those are some things that I think he's going to be one of those players that'll be a major key for us as we roll into this phase.
Gotcha. Yeah. You mentioned kind of that blue collar by Jacob. The running game is a big key to you guys. And correct me if I'm wrong, that's probably going to be a big part of this year's season, at least in the beginning.
Yes. Yes, the foundation of, well, again, the way I was taught the game, it starts up front. You want to be able to run the football and stop the run, right? Over the past several years, we've been fortunate enough to have several really athletic and talented receivers, and we also had a pretty gifted quarterback in that regard. So that kind of, forces you and opens the door for you to do some different things. But, now that we're kind of getting back to ground level, we want to try to lean on those guys. And like I said, we have about 4-5 kids that we feel really good about in terms of their talent to run the football. Right now, we're just working on figuring out what their role is and how they all, pretty much how you can all get those kids to come together. But the foundation of the team should be there, starting with the running game and obviously up front with the defense. I feel like that's pretty much what we're going to lean on as we continue to grow. And then as we get that foundation solid, and we'll be able to look into doing some more explosive things like we have done in the past. But we'll still be aggressive. I just think it's very important, especially now with a young quarterback and things like that being young. We want to be able to establish a line of scrimmage, probably be a lot more headstrong in that as we have been rather in the past couple of years due to our personnel.
Yeah. I was looking back at some of the last couple of years for you guys. one of the better seasons. I think you got defensively, you guys were holding opponents to less than 2 touchdowns a game.
Right.
So, you know, setting that foundation's got to be a key aspect of trying to do that, especially if you're going to focus on running and controlling the clock.
Absolutely. And so, we've kind of scheduled some early on in the season, our scrimmages, we've kind of intentionally put ourselves out there a little bit, just to challenge our younger guys and kind of work on that concept, because we're going to have to be good on defense. I've been fortunate enough, shout out to my defensive coordinator and staff, Hunter Fillingham. He's an ex-player, but he's been doing a phenomenal job over the past 5 years with running that defense. I mean, we've been really good on defense the past several years. So, I mean, I'm really not, afraid of what we're going to be able to do with that group. We got, like I said, a great mix of guys who've been in the program, guys like Jordan Green, Jalen Green, Likens. They've pretty much been playing football at Albemarle since 8th grade, right? So they've been in the program a long time, and we're going to be able to lean on them. And then we add in some of these younger guys. We have a really good defensive tackle who we feel good about, rising sophomore, young man named Uri Ratcliffe, big guy in the middle. So we can kind of get a foundation up front, like we talked about earlier, get stout inside, and be able to stop the run. I think that we'll be able to. I don't know how great we're going to be in terms of comparison to that team 2 or 3 years ago, but like I said, the energy is there with these kids. They want to play. They want to be around each other, and I think that's going to be the formula that's going to hopefully make us really tough to deal with on the back end of the year.
Gotcha. Yeah. You guys had a scrimmage on Friday night. How did that go?
Oh, it was exciting. I mean, I think for me, it's always about, you want to have scrimmages where your kids can experience success and be excited about it. But I think over the past, couple of years, we're kind of trying to open our mind to exposing our kids to pretty much the best players and best competition that you can be around. We have young men who aspire to be college level players, and for me, it's always about, what you think you are. You have to be able to measure yourself, against those types of players. So, we were fortunate enough to get some work in with Mari out of Norfolk, and Salem came down. We had a jamboree. It was a great experience. Obviously, 2 great teams, well coached, great programs. And obviously, it was tough and challenging because of the talent that those schools have and the culture that they have. But for me, it's about exposing our kids and our coaches to that. And we feel like we were able to accomplish that goal. So we're really excited about the work we were able to get in. Obviously, we got everybody out healthy, which is really a big goal for any coach this time of year. And so we're excited about that. Watch the tape and continue to work and move forward, and then we'll get ready for Stafford this week.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I know it's good to, especially with the young guys, to get them out on the field against some other competition. So you guys got Stafford coming up, and then a big non-district schedule when you guys start the regular season, like always, right?
Yep, we'll start off with Heritage. Again, another big time program. They Division III, but they're in the hunt for the championship every year. Great program. Those kids are gonna be tough and talented. So it'll be a tough challenge for us. And then obviously we have our Roanoke tour. William Fleming, Coach Leftwich has been doing a phenomenal job. I think this will be his second year, but they won a regional championship game last year. And then Patrick Henry Roanoke is kind of like they might as well live in our district because it's a rival game every year. And Coach Filler has a great program. Those kids are always athletic and fast and tough. So we feel like we're going to have our hands full in this part of the year like we always do. But again, we have our goals set on the end game and how much we want to develop as a group. And if we continue to fight and compete and play good football, we feel good about where we can stand pretty much wherever we'll be at in the schedule.
Yeah, and one of the key questions that a lot of people always ask is about quarterback. You guys have a new person under center, starting off going under against that type of competition. That's got to be very helpful for his development.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm always about perspective. I mean, I think this young man that we pretty much feel like is kind of earned his way through camp and is going to be our signal guy. He's a young player, but he's another kid that's been with us since 8th grade. We've never questioned his talent and his potential. He only be a sophomore, right? But we went through this ride with him with the past quarterback and the one before him. So we're excited about the confidence he has in himself, the way the kids follow him and believe in him. We know it's going to be a challenge, but we're excited to see how he competes and how he adapts in this environment. Like I said, we know we'll be challenging for him, but we're really confident in LaDante, and we think he's going to be, he's going to be a player and help us win a lot of football games in this program.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's LaDante Chapman, right?
Yeah, his code name is Juju. I don't never call him LaDante. But we all know him as Juju. We love him as Juju, man. He's a great kid. He's extremely talented. And I think that, like I said, as he continues to grow and develop and commit himself to the process of being a leader and being a quarterback of our program like he has been thus far, we're really excited about the growth he's going to be able to make and what he's going to be able to do to shine a positive light on our program.
Awesome. Yeah. And then, after that non-district schedule, you guys head right into the JD, which, I know there's a lot of different levels as far as classification, but it's always very competitive.
Yeah, I've been coaching in this area about 20 years, man. My truth is that it's a lot of great players and great coaching going on in this district. Even when people think it's down, I still feel like they're great players and it's always great coaching going on. I think it's really underrated. In the state, in my opinion, the kind of kids we have and the coaching is going on. So for me, it don't really matter what the year is. It's going to be a challenge. Orange is always going to be orange, tough, and then obviously our rivals, Monticello, Western, Charlottesville, they're still developing and growing. But I just feel like the league is just going to always be tough. And obviously Louisa is a program and standing over the past 10 to 15 years, and I have a lot of respect for Coach Patrick and what they're doing. So for me, it's always fun when we get to that because it's a new movie every year. But the talent is going to be there. The kids are going to be hungry and excited about it. And I think I'm hoping that this year we'll continue to grow and hopefully we can do our part to, again, shine a light on what the kind of style of football and the talent is being used around in this area.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I always look forward to the Jefferson District schedule because records tend to go out the window when it comes to matchups.
It doesn't matter. It has no bearing on anything. No matter how good or bad you may think someone is, it's going to be a war. It's going to be a dogfight. I honestly think this year is going to be one of the better years just because we've had got new blood coming in with coaches. And, you have guys like Coach Pace who's come in. He's a lifelong Fluvanna guy, but he's instantly taking their program to another level. I know they've been grinding in the offseason. They got talent. So I feel like that'll be a war. Monticello, obviously, that place helped make me as a coach. So I have a lot of respect for what they've done over there, and they had a great season last year. And I know those kids are hungry. Orange has got a second-year coach who did a great job. So for me, the league is only going to be better than what it has been in the past, and I think it's going to be even more competitive. So I'm excited to see all those coaches, have success as they continue to grind, and it's going to be fun to be. I'm just excited to be a part of it.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I know we're excited about your success too there at Albemarle, and you guys have been doing a great job. And wish you the best this year as you work with the talented group that you have coming up.
Oh yeah, like I said, I appreciate all the things you guys do for shining a light on these kids, spending time. I appreciate you even giving me some time to talk, and want to shout out all these coaches, man, as they start this journey this year. I know everybody's working. This is a very fun time of year as you get started, man. And just like I said, I'm excited to be a part of the Jefferson District and then still be leading Albemarle High School football for my 11th year now. I feel extremely blessed, and want to shout out all of my Patriots out there as we go into this season.
Awesome. All right. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Coach. Really appreciate it and appreciate you taking out some time to chat with us today. Good luck this year.
Anytime. Appreciate you, Rob.